Hello guys, welcome on board. My name is Leandro Costa and I am a pilot, guys, like most of you. As an airplane pilot, I hold the Brazilian ATP license and I also hold the American license, the ATP, in other words, airline transportation pilot. I got this license 2014 when I was living in the United States. And something really funny about this license and this story when I was living in the United States was because when I got there, I realized that without the ICAO that I took here in Brazil, I couldn't even apply for those tests. Funny, right? Funny because I thought, well, I'm here in the United States. I asked the guy. I told him, hey, I'm wondering about, I am here, as you can note, we are speaking English, I guess that my English is at least good enough for those tests, and I will apply for all those tests. Over there are 3 different tests, written test, oral, and the check ride, the flight itself. And I told him, hey, I'm going to apply all those tests and why I cannot apply without the ICAO. Simple, he told me. Simple because without the ICAO in your license, we don't know that you are proficient, that you have proficiency in English. Doesn't matter if you can talk with me right now as you are doing right now. Doesn't matter if you can talk over the radio. You cannot prove me. You know what I mean? So, guys, can you see, can you understand what I'm saying? How crucial the ICAO and how important the English represent for us in our pilot's career? Sorry, but it's pretty much everything. So without the ICAO, we can't fly out of our border. You know what I mean? We can't go out there and fly. So it's crucial. I'm here right now because I want to share with you this experience, and I'm also trying to teach you some knowledge that I have learned over there. Anyway, guys, it's time to face your fear. It's time to face the English. And tell yourself, I can do. Believe it, I can do. We are here to help you. So guys, today I'm going to discuss with you about the pre-flight inspection. This webinar today will be about the pre-flight inspection, our subject, okay? So, but remember, the purpose of this webinar is much more focused on the aviation words instead of just to show you how to pre-fly your own airplane, because we assume that you already know better than anyone else how to pre-fly your airplane. So guys, right now I'm inviting you to have a seat, make yourself comfortable, and let's get started. As we approach the airplane, we start our inspection looking at the airplane from a distance, doing a quick overview, wondering what doesn't seem to be right. Is the airplane ready to fly? Is the pitot cover properly placed? The landing gear seems to be messed up. Are the tires in good shape or seems to be flat? Is there any oil leak on the ground? The airplane fuselage seems to be damaged. Okay, now we can go ahead and start our inspection. Starting from the passenger access door, let's walk in and get access inside the airplane, passing through the aisle. Once we get inside the cockpit, we are going to pick up the checklist and start by the pre-flight inspection, checking the item number 1 and then checking the item number 2 and so on. In this case, I've chosen the seatbelt as a number 1. So, during the seatbelt inspection, let's look for any fraying or any other issue. If we notice or realize any problem or any other threat that can put the safety at risk, maintenance must be immediately notified. In the cockpit, we are also going to check the radio and all control panel. In this inspection, we should also include equipment such as ELT, fire extinguisher, axe, goggles, oxygen mask, and so on. Actually, these stuffs won't be found in some checklists out there, but we also have to keep in mind how important these items are. Just a side note, each airplane has its own checklist, so please follow through it before you step out there for a flight. About the paperwork and documentation, I mean the POH, the logbook, the airworthiness certificate, and the aircraft registration that in Brazil we know as a CM, and other specific regulation. It depends on to which flight rules the airplane was assigned for. General aviation, for example, will be 591, airline will be 121, and so on. Before we begin the pre-flight inspection itself, let's review some words that we have to be familiar with: leading edge, trailing edge, stall horn, wing tip, navigation light. Aileron, elevator, rudder, control surface, yoke, inboard flap, outboard flap. Hinges, bolts, screw, spar, ribs. Wing strut, chocks, trim tab. Wing skin or covering, rivet, airfoil curvature. Cowling or engine cowling, fuselage. Crack windshield, propeller nicks. Propeller nicks, it is deformation around the propeller edge. So guys, I encourage you to run your hand over around the propeller edge to check any probable crack or nick or any other issue or damage around the propeller edge. Reciprocated engine, bulb burned down. fuel cap, fuel gauge, sump or oil sump, fuel sump, and the drain itself. Right here in the yellow arrow, we have the drain itself. Okay, now I would like to remember you of the purpose of this webinar and what we expect for you to get out from it. As I said earlier, we are focused on the aviation world instead of the pre-flight inspection itself. So we want you to get the aviation words even more because we want to cover all pre-flight inspection. Anyway, the pre-flight inspection is a complete walk around along the aircraft fuselage, sometimes in a clockwise orientation, where the pilot has a main challenge of make sure that the airplane is safe and ready to fly. Beginning with the left door, let's walk inside the cockpit and find the airworthiness and all required documentation, and proceed with the cockpit inspection itself. At the very first item, once we step out of the airplane, we got the flaps as the first item to be checked. During the pre-flight inspection, the flaps must be extended. As everyone already knows, the flaps is a high lift device that allow the wings to increase its amount of lift. It's very useful for slow speed such as a takeoff speed and of course a land speed as well. About the flaps inspection, we have to check the overall condition. At the ailerons, we got the push rod, the hinges and its bolts. This is the most important part during the aileron inspection because the push rod, as its own name already said, it allows the yoke to push up and down the ailerons. Linked with the aileron, we got the hinges. The hinges is responsible to allow the aileron bend up and down, making turns. So check the aileron and verify if they are working properly and smoothly. Check the wingtip, check the navigation light, the strobe light, and all other lights. Make sure that all lights aren't burned out, especially at night flights or IFR flight. Check the leading edge and make sure that we have no damage from the previous flight. Check the stall horn blowing through it or push it up, and inspect the stall horn sound, but of course once the master switch is placed on. Remove the pitot cover and check its overall condition. Check the static port for obstruction and so on. Check the engine cowling, look for any missing screws or something like that. Now moving forward, let's talk about the nose wheel and the tail wheel. A quick consideration about landing gear and its types. Basically, when we are talking about a land plane or airplane that only can before land is on the ground, we have the tricycle and the conventional airplanes. And in this case, the nose wheel and the tail wheel will be responsible to steer the airplane on the ground, but remember that they aren't equal. The shock absorb is different. The airplane's center of gravity also will be different. They have a different behavior during the tax, liftoff, and landing. Now, after some consideration, we can go ahead and check the landing gear and its shock absorb, its cable wheel, and everything related with it. For the propeller inspection, I encourage you run your hand around the blade. This allows us to feel damage like nicks. Check the spinning for missing screw. Check inside the engine cowling
for foreign object. Check the air filter for obstruction. Check the oil quantity, removing the dipstick. Now it's time to check the fuel system. I mean the fuel gauge and fuel quantity by a visual check on the wing. Remove the fuel cap and make yourself sure about how much fuel do you have. Some airplane has a really reliable fuel indicator. In this case, disregard the visual check. Take a fuel sample and look for a contamination like moisture or bugs or something like that. Once we notice that the fuel is okay, replace it back inside the fuel tank. Moving on to the other side of the aircraft and checking everything at the same way that we have done so far. The right side of the airplane will be pretty much the same. So we're going to skip it and proceed to the tail. Right here at the tail section, we also have to check its overall condition. Let's move the rudder to left and right, lift the elevator up and down, but however, moving the elevator by the elevator body and never by the trim tab. Check the trim tab and its connection and pay special attention for any weird sound like creak or crack sound. At least but not less, we got the tail wheel and its tire. Carefully, we must perform a quick inspection looking for a bald spot. We know that bald spot must be replaced by the maintenance because bald spot decrease the tire save.
So here we are back again, guys. I hope that you have enjoyed. This is the end of our webinar. So about questions, doubts and so on, I will answering everyone via email. So feel free anytime to email me any doubt or any question. And this is all for now. See you next time. Bye bye.
Be there in a little while. This hurt will hurt no more. I'll be home, love, when the night takes a steep breath and the daylight is nowhere. If I crawl, I come crawling home. Will you be there? In a little while, I will be blown by every breeze. Friday night running to Sunday on my knees. That girl, she's mine. Well, I've known her since she was a little girl with Spanish eyes. Oh, when I saw